I'm here with 10 business owners doing between $1 million and $10 million per year, and we're talking about the things that are holding them back to scale their companies. Enjoy. What are your biggest issues right now with growing your business? Shoot.
I think it's a marketing problem for us.
Okay.
Not enough ads, not enough creative. I think my eyes have been opened to what it actually takes to scale our advertising campaigns. Basically, we have scaled our entire program on single image lead format ads on LinkedIn. That's it.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn advertising,
single image. Professionals, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
it's targeting executives. We can target it really well. The lead quality is amazing.
Okay. What's LTV to CAC?
So this has been slightly miscalculated because we completely revamped our business in the last 13 months. From what I could gather, it was about 3.7, but that's not capturing the people who are actually staying longer at the moment. So I think it's slightly higher, but conservatively 3.7.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got it. So what are you charging?
So we have one program, but there's 3 timelines, 3 packages, a 3-month, 6-month, 12-month, 2K, 3K, 5K.
Okay, 2K, 3K, 5K. Got it. Why do you have, if it's one thing with just different timelines, do you just start high and then work your way down? Is that all?
No, I just present 3 options, depending on the person.
Okay. What's the most common goal?
Probably losing 30 pounds. A 6-month program is definitely the most popular by night.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is super tactical, but obviously I've done a lot of fitness sales. Yeah. I would probably just switch to a diagnostic sale. Okay. So basically you say it's, what was the 12-month price? 5K? Yeah. Yeah. So I would probably do something like, $129 a week, something like that. And then, just say, okay, cool. So you're here, you want to get here. That's, you're 200, you want to be 160, it's 40 pounds. And so, we'd lose comfortably a pound a week, and that includes kind of our recomp period at the end to kind of like bring you back to maintenance, blah, 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 blah. And so that'll take us 40 weeks. And so 40 weeks times 129, boom. And that way, and the key part is that as soon as you do that, you're selling to goal rather than selling programs. You'll convert a way higher percentage of people. And then that's where I gave my, the whole, if you don't hit the goal by that point, I'll keep working with you until you do, provided you X, Y, and Z. And that murders. And that, because then I translate that, which means that when you buy this, you'll be that weight. Whether it takes this time or this time, you'll get there. Yeah, and as soon as I said that, people were like, done, here's the card.
Yeah, okay.
So I would just do that as like thing one. But in terms of the LTV, so that'll probably help LTV a little bit because you'll, and if you like need to extend time to make the contract higher, just have like longer maintenance periods. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Do you do supplement sales? Do you have like an affiliate thing for supplements?
We don't know.
Okay, I would add that in because you can usually get another 50% in supplement sales because people want to get all the fancy doodads and there's 0 delivery for you. Yeah. And they want the recommendation. And so like literally you just hand them the product, you make the split, and then you just move on with your life. And don't sell it on the first package, sell it on the second. So you do your diagnostic, meet with them 48 hours later for nutrition consult, then try and sell probably $500 to $1,000 in supplements, 100% more.
Would you have a salesperson take that call?
No, I use the same guy. He's like, cool, we're going to walk you through. And the first half is a nutrition consult. Yeah. And then the second half, you basically bake in, hey, I want you to take this at this time. And you want to do like an assumed close, which is like, I need you to take this, this, and this. And then you go into their habits. So it's like, what do you do in the morning? What do you do in the afternoon? So you have your coffee in the morning, first thing. Okay, I want you to put these 3 supplements next to your coffee that we don't forget it. Okay, where are you going to be going to the gym? Okay, I want you to put your pre-workout and your post-workout in your car that we don't forget it. Okay, you're going to take 2 scoops of that. This one, great. By the way, do you want to use the card you have on file for this? Awesome. I'll have them shipped to your house.
Any chance?
Cool. But yeah, that'll just make you more money. But the issue we're talking about is you growing your business. Why don't you spend more money on ads?
We do find we struggle to kind of remain profitable once we start getting above like 1,500 a day in ad spend. So again, the bottleneck was me creating enough ads.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so okay. That's kind of what I came to from the last couple of days.
Okay, good.
That's the right one. We are bringing the sales team in as well. Mm-hmm. So I've been training those guys, and that's been a little bit of a constraint, but they're closing plus 40%.
Yeah,
so
that's not a constraint.
You shouldn't be
it's ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Awesome. All right, rock and roll. Francois.
So my main constraint right now is the quality of the leads we're getting. We're getting a lot of leads, but there are low salaries, basically profiles, and we compensate implementing a R1 R2 sales process. Like qualifying call 10 minutes, and then you go on this. And so what we are trying to do is to get to the higher salaries and with more seniority, where the ROI for our offers is better. So we are thinking about changing the platform where we spend our ads. We're spending around 10K a month, a bit more, on meta ads only, and maybe switch to LinkedIn or Twitter.
I mean, LinkedIn will for sure murder for what you're looking for. Like, I mean, you're looking for executives who want severance packages.
Or cold outreach, no?
Or what?
Cold outreach?
Cold outreach, I mean, I would do LinkedIn. If I had to do this in order, I wouldn't turn off your meta ads. I wouldn't, like, don't stop the flow. Like, like, you're making money with it, right? So then just make more money by doing this other thing on top. Like, don't stop that. Okay.
So it's my way to saying it.
No, you're
just
fine.
Test other.
Yeah. By all
other
means, test
platforms.
other things. But what's the return on this one again? I know you told me last night. I can remember. 3-1. But we talked about just add in the performance piece. So if you added the performance piece and you were doing 10-1, would you care?
That would be fine. Yeah.
I mean, I concur. It would be fine as well. Well, then, so let me ask you this: if you were getting 10-1, would you spend more on meta?
We try to spend more, but then the some diminishing returns.
Well, of course, but now you got 10-1, but then you can get 3-1 with 10 times the spend.
And we need to be more creative. We need to do more creative every week.
Okay, so we talked about this last night, but I think that you add in that performance thing would be like step one. And I think that takes you from 3K to like 10K or 12K, right, per customer? Right, so that takes you from 1 to 3 or 3-1 to 12-1 if you just made that one change. So the diminishing return, which goes from 3-1 to 2-1, means you go from 12-1 to 9-1. So you're still killing. Right. So sure, I'll bet your ads could use work. Sure, because you spend 10 grand a month. You're not spending money anyways. But I would do that first before I even start another platform. Because you might just be fine and just need to like tweak the LTV.
Okay.
Just do that.
Okay.
Sweet. Yeah.
Cool. Biggest concern right now is sales.
Good.
Sales manager left because he was not a good culture fit.
Asshole. Who's an asshole?
Or you're an asshole and he's the good guy. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, the plot thickens.
But he left. Top closer became sales manager. Second top closer left, went to another offer. So sales went from, 1 point.
Top closer becomes manager.
Yeah.
A song as old as time. Yeah. Okay.
So it's really a sales problem right now that we have. And Layla was just up there telling somebody to like, hey, you need to go back into sales. I just don't have the expertise in sales. So my solution is to hire a sales director on top of the sales manager.
I mean, you did wholesaling for a long time. Like, you know to sell.
Yeah.
You also believe in the product. Well, how many deals are you doing a month?
Right now, so we were doing around 70. Now we're doing around 40.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be tough for you to take over the calls. But you're saying you don't have the expertise to be a sales director, basically.
I mean, I'm pretty much doing it.
I mean, you're doing it now, right?
Yeah, I'm doing it now. It's just like, how deep do I get into it? Or do I find somebody else who has, because all the other departments, I have a director who.
So is lead flow the same and you went from closing 70 to closing 40, right? Right. And it's really, now the remaining team is closing at the same percentage and just the two best guys left.
Yes, except now that this top closer became sales manager, it's almost like a respect thing. Like, he's not a very good coach, in my opinion.
Of course not. He's the best closer. He's a killer.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what the issue is. And then current.
You have 100 trying to farm. Yeah. Trying to develop people. He just wants to kill people. Yeah, it's like also like they were all his competition like a week ago. And now he's like, now I'm going to help you. Fuck you. Is he still on the phones? The director? Yeah, right. So one, I'm sure she probably told you like, don't promote the sales directors, this sales guy. When you did say it, were you like, are we going to try this out?
I said so the last sales manager was paying him under the table to do like call reviews, do this thing, that. So then I was like, well, why the fuck am I paying this guy when you're doing all the work? And then he became sales manager, and now it's, yeah.
I'm so weirded out by this whole thing. Okay, but he was closing and doing the stuff, and he was closing great. And now that he's no longer closing, he's
just dedicated. He was just doing call reviews, for example.
Okay, so just reviewing their calls with them.
Yes.
Okay, so all right, so I'll walk through it. Okay, so I'm gonna give you like sales training 101 on this, but I honestly just think everyone sucks at sales training, so I don't think it's a you thing or anything like that. I think literally like 95% of companies have no idea how to train sales, and they just hire salespeople and hope for the best. And then they just like talk at them and hope that they get better, but have zero measurable improvement to show that they can actually take someone and make them better. So anyways, that's like a side rant on that. But people get better at sales by watching a ton of game tape of people who sell well. One, by modeling, just like children learn anything. And then two, by corrective, very immediate role playing. Like, when this happens, what do you say? And so they say, great, say it again, like this, try again. Awesome, keep going, try it again. Great, one more time, again. And that's it. And you just really drill one aspect of the script until they breathe it and they're like, I get it. I know, like, and then you're like, great, now we work on the second part of the script. And you just work your way down until they breathe it and think it, and they can't do anything but that. That way they can actually listen on the call because they're not thinking about what they're going to say next.
Okay.
And so you need somebody who like really, really loves salespeople and like wants to teach and invest in people, which is not usually the personality of a sales killer. Yeah. Every once in a while you'll have an absolute savage, but it's usually not that person. It's like the salesman who's like a killer is not that guy, and those guys usually crush on sales. There's a different type of closer who's like really attentive and like very caring, and those guys can also kill, and those sometimes are the ones who can become really good sales managers, but it's a different persona. Like Jacob, if you've met Jacob, oh, there you go. It's been a while. Right, like he closes exceptionally well. When he was at Gym Launch, and like he worked his way up from the call floor to the setting team to the closing team, beat all grown-ass men, and he was selling to 42-year-old gym owners, like male gym owners, and then was able to train because it was like, I just want to help the guys out. You know, like I understand what you're struggling with, like let's just work on this. And it's more about like, I just want to win at whatever I do, not because I am a psychopath, which the one, like, you know who I'm talking about, like the butcher of Blaviken. Like we've all had those guys. So your problem, sales, lead flow is the same. So should you hire or should you get in is the question.
Correct.
I think you should get in. You have a sales-driven business. You're the CEO. You should know how it works. You're going to keep running this issue, and whoever runs sales is going to have leverage over you. And so you know how to do it. Like if a sales director, could you imagine a sales director coming to me like, no one can run this team like me. If you don't double my pay, I'm leaving. I'd be like I can name 10 people like in this building who can do it better than you. It's trained all of them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so what happens? So what happens from the team you had, and then I'll go to Jacob, is you basically brought as many people as you could in, saw who could sell, and then just let them sell. That's how most people do it. Nothing wrong with that. What happens though is that there's no process. And so basically it's just whatever way you know how to sell. It creates difficulty on the CS side because everyone kind of promises a little bit differently. Some people sell hot, they overpromise, blah, 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 blah. And so even if you do try and train, no one's following the script to begin with. So the training's irrelevant. And so basically like step one, if you have to turn around a sales team, is like everyone follow the script. The script becomes the Bible. It's like, if this is word of God. Now, that means that if you follow the script perfectly and they don't close, you crushed it. Because if I get everyone following the script, now we can tweak the script because that actually changes how everyone says it. That make sense? Yeah. So otherwise, if no one says the script to begin with, why do we even bother having a script?
Gotcha. And so do you think it's going to be more on script making, changing the flow and process, and then training?
Yes, and making the script as simple as humanly possible.
Okay, got it.
Most of the times when we look at a script, we cut half of it.
Got it. Is it me taking sales calls
I think it would help you.
to better iterate the script to then teach it? Cool.
I'll bet you there's parts of the script you're like, we didn't even have to have this. I took 5 calls. You're like, I can just skip over this whole thing. Why are you here? What's the problem? Gosh. Cool. Yeah, no worries. Senor, auto sales. Do you do auto sales training or you do auto sales?
Auto sales.
Okay, got it. Do you have a dealership or do you? Oh, sweet.
Used car. Used. Yeah.
Oh, cool. How long you been in it?
8 years.
Okay, you like it?
I love it, actually. I really do. Long story short, I've never been in sales. I was never a salesman. I was a pipe fitter, a pipe welder.
Okay.
I bought some cars and said, how hard can it be?
Yeah.
And so I've just kind of been pile driving through it. And here we sit.
I love it. It's a hell of an 8 years. That's awesome. From pipe welding to have, I know I saw your numbers. It's great.
So now I think the key man problems, right? Sales processes, scripting. I talked to Jacob about that. We don't I can do it, but how to teach you how to do it,
That's the skill.
I don't know. It's just go talk to them. I don't,
Yeah.
So I think coming up with that plan, the advertising piece, we've been branding for a long time. Probably wrong. I think I'm really kind of
Me too, man.
like radio. We've been doing a lot of radio and it's actually worked, I feel like. But I think digging into the social media stuff would kind of accelerate it. And I talked, I don't know, the CEO guy, I don't remember. I talked to him. I've got commercial vans. So I got kind of 2, 3, 4, 5 facets of my business that we can do. I have access to massive amounts of commercial vans. And so I'm thinking I'm going to do a specialized push on that and see how that does, because my margins in the vans, what I can sell a typical car for, there's $2,000 in margin. This van I can make anywhere from 6 to 12.
Wow.
So why not sell $106,000 to $12,000 deals instead of $2,000 deals?
Preaching to me, man. Yeah.
So I think he said, throw money at it, test that, but because he said maybe you don't have the market to sell 30 vans a month in this.
In that local market, yeah. I mean, if it's a profitable line, then yeah, line of business.
So I think really it's just ironing out from top to bottom. Obviously, we need more money. To fill my position, I haven't really taken any money out. I've just that's why
we keep buying more cars.
Well, yeah, we've gone from 15 to 30 to 45. Now we have 100
On the lot?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Plus, I have a full-time service shop, so I need to hire another mechanic. I'm working on a service writer. He's got to learn how to sell.
I get it.
The salesman, you know what I mean? So, the one thing I've realized with the auto sales with 3 people, it's super simple. Yeah. The minute you try to build, holy shit, you need a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, I think how much the franchises cost for a BMW franchise, or they're unbelievable. They're super expensive. You guys know it's unbelievably expensive. I think it's 20, 30 million, something like that.
Well, and then tomorrow they just show up with a truckload of tools that you've got to write a check for.
Right. Yeah.
You owe us $150,000.
Which, for context, that's almost as much as it costs to start a bank. But to be fair, there's the whole financing arm is a part of the business. Anyways, okay, not to get into the car business too much. Okay, so biggest limiter on your business is one, you brought up branding, you brought up leads, you brought up picking the product sell, you brought up sales process. So honestly, I think you need priorities. So it's okay, of the ones that we just went over, which is the biggest problem for the business, what's limiting you the most? To me, hearing all that, when I hear 6 problems, it's people. You need help.
And there was something in the first day. It was you don't have problems, you just need people to help you.
Right. Yeah.
And that I think is, but I need to be able.
You're missing 3 smart people.
Right.
I'm serious. You're missing 3. You need somebody who can run the whole mechanic division, the service department. You need someone who can run that. And you get someone who can run the normal used car lot. And then you can then take the excess bandwidth and be like, all right, I'm going to pursue this van opportunity. But like, you can't pursue a new opportunity where you got another new opportunity, which is the service business, which you're spinning up. You still have to keep the wheels on, pun intended, the core, the core cash cow business. So I would be looking at how much EBIT are you doing in the business?
How much what?
Profit.
So I didn't bring that number with it. I was looking through it. I think I'm around 500,000-600,000.
Okay. So I think you can get somebody. So one, honestly, man, I think, do you have a good finance person who works for you? Yeah. Okay. So I'll bet you right now, this is just me shooting from that. I'll bet you could probably get close to doubling your margin just from somebody who had some finance discipline, being like, let's look at all of these expenses and just do that as a regular discipline. At the very basic, I'd say like you could do that because I almost guarantee you can find $250,000 a year from your top line versus your bottom line. And if you find that, then you can find you can bring someone in and say, find your salary. Like to a good controller or a good CFO, you just say like, listen, I can't afford you. I'm willing to pay you this. You need to find your salary and cost in the next 90 days. And they'll find it. And then you say, cool, I just bought you. Let's see what else we can find because I need help doing this. Find that, carve that guy out too.
So you're talking hiring someone that's going to just run the day-to-day of the money?
The perfect hire for you would be somebody who's taken a business around that was like 5 to 10 million in sales, not car sales, but like receivables, right? For a dealership to 25 to 30 and has a strong financial background. If you don't have that, then just the operation side would be helpful. The reason I would put the finance person first is because it's likely that they'll be able to carve themselves out and carve out the hole for the other guy who can then fill that up. The perfect guy would have both and it'd be awesome. But if you can't find that guy, then it'd be like, I would want somebody from another car dealership who's been a little bit bigger, has more finance discipline, and I'd find somebody who's grown and led one of those businesses and bring those guys in because that will free you up because you can go get the van thing and if you have space, you'll pay for both of those guys.
Well, I've already got 40 vans.
I meant you'll pay for, you'll make the money with your free time to cover their salaries. Yeah, exactly. I think you're at the point right now where you need to make a bet on trading. You need to buy some time for you back. And it's just that the time that you now need to buy is more expensive time. It's easy to make the early trades because it's lower value skill. But as you get better, you have to, it's kind of like breaking into new territory for ads. People are like, I've never spent more than $5,000 a day. I've never spent more than $10,000 a day. I've never spent more than $100,000 a day in ads. They're just new territories. And the same thing with talent. It's I've never paid someone $250,000 a year. I've never paid someone $500,000 a year. I've never paid someone $1 million a year. They just become levels that you just get through. And then you find what different levels of talent look like. And so right now, I think you just have never paid someone what you're going to have to pay this person who's not a salesperson.
So I have a sales / finance, we kind of do our own deals.
I'm only going to move on to this one because I got 60 and I want to hit to everybody. But no, you're good. But hopefully that gives you at least some direction. Okay, cool. Miki, let's rock.
Sales, pretty much. So last year, we've been steadily putting 20% growth last year.
What does it think about?
We build websites. So WordPress websites for enterprise client. So
Enterprise, okay.
So
cool.
we deal with digital media to start with, but mostly marketing.
How big is enterprise?
Has to be 1,000 employees. It's has to be million page view per day or higher, that kind of.
Okay.
The traffic. So it has to be custom built. Everything's custom built. There's a lot of integration. There's some banking companies marketing.
Super cool. How'd you get it? We don't have time for that, but very interesting. Okay. So you've got this, I totally want to hear the story, but we will not. So what do you want to do? Why, what do we need to do to grow your company?
So last year, new clients. But within clients, they will add projects and expand. They want more people there.
That's how it works.
So those we've been doing, but also we have 2 big whales. So we have 2 big companies that are 90% of our revenues. So we wanted to not do that because we had that experience, I think year 2 or 3.
One leaves and you're like,
Yeah, we had that happen because like one of our clients got merged by New Division or some other companies, and then they kind of decided not to use us. But we quickly got another whale, which was good. But we've been kind of trying to.
What did you do when you had to quickly get another whale?
Well, we're very referral. So yeah, we literally like sell, and we, like both of
And then you're like, okay, now I've made enough money again, so now I don't need to do sales.
So, yeah, and also like both owners are still very hands-on. So we do a lot of client work.
Okay.
So if the
when
client
you say both owners, you mean you and
the 50% owner.
Okay, you said both. Okay, like the owner of acquisition.com agrees with you. Yeah.
So co-founders, and then he and I, we had a third partner, but we have to buy him out and all those stories. After that, so when there's a client work, that always takes precedent. So like some of the things that we split it out. So he's doing sales and financial, and I take care of marketing and HR, and other operations are kind of shared, including account management. So when there's a client work that gets busy, like one of us gets busy, so one department or whatever the operation kind of gets behind. Yeah. So that always happens. It's been our struggle to then we try to hire some people, but I didn't know too much about other departments, so like the hiring didn't really work out. I think I kind of mentioned that too.
You need division of roles between you and the co-founder, and then you need to not step over each other's like territory. And no one owns new businesses, which is why you don't have new business.
That's actually my question, because his client got really busy, so he's on sales. So I felt like sales, I'm like, I can help, but normally we really separate it out because we figured out that accountability actually worked better if you split out the divisions. So it worked out good, but last year for
And by divisions, you mean you have one client, he has the other client?
So, oh, no, not that end. So like sales is him, so like I wasn't really touching the sales part.
And by sales, you mean like internal sales, like trying to upsell them and just get them to buy more shit from you?
The outbound sales, actually.
Outbound sales, but you're not getting any customers from that so far. Got it.
Yeah, okay. So outbound is not, it's pretty dried up. So inbound, like is that, I don't know the sales term to actually figure out.
Inbound's like someone reaches out to you, outbound you reach out to them first, that's all.
Yeah, so inbound has been fine, but like outbound hasn't been. So like because we didn't want the two whales, we wanted to do more outbound sale, but that hasn't been successful all last year. And we were hearing that because he's a part of like a mastermind for agencies, that last year was pretty bad, but I think that's kind of like a bullshit excuse that there should be some way to figure out we can get new clients.
There is a way to get new clients, I promise you.
But I wanted to figure out like, well, so I don't think it's all his fault, but like how can I convincingly put a measure that we can kind of like make sure this is done? So like, and it's also, we're both owners, and like we both are very responsible, but at the same time, do we need to have some sort of measure that we always kind of make sure that, hey, we still have to meet this?
I mean, this is how partnerships work.
Yeah.
And so that's also why division of roles is important. And so if you're like, I will take over 100% of delivery if you go get us customers. And then if you don't get us customers, then one of us isn't necessary. And so I'm just being like really real. This is me just reading between the lines from what you're saying. Honestly, I just think like when you needed to go get a new client and go get a new whale, you got a new whale fairly quickly, it sounds like. Which means that if you need to go get business, you know exactly what to do to go get business. You just aren't doing that.
Right.
Right. And so the question is why? And it means that one of you is satisfied with the amount of income and the amount of work that they have right now, which I say is fine if you both agree on that. But if one of you doesn't agree on that, then you have conflict. And so that conflict turns into direct conflict, or it turns into one of you becoming resentful. And so I'd prefer it if you or the other person, whoever, just says like, the way that, I'll explain something that might be helpful for everybody. It really helped me out a lot. So you guys know the difference between an insult and criticism? Helped me a ton. So an insult is an attack on someone's character, right? You suck. You're an idiot, whatever. A criticism is, you said this, you did this, these are not the same. It's a discrepancy between stated and reality. That's all it is. So you said you would hit this goal. This is reality. There's a difference. So this is criticism. And here's some things we can do to make that up. And ideally, next time you say this and that's what happened, awesome, right? And so it's not an attack. It's a statement of fact. It's an observation of reality. And so being able to explain that, be like, You are responsible for sales. We have no sales. This gap is the problem that we have right now. Now, if we did not want to grow this company, and we both were aligned with that, then we would have no problem. But I do want to grow this company. You are not currently doing the activities that would grow this company. So what do we do? Either you change what you do, or I stop being here. Just being really real. So you presented with a sales problem, but I think you have a hard conversation with a co-founder to have, being really honest.
We had the conversation. So we actually we did a new partnership.
You have a what, sorry?
We started a new partnership.
You started a new partnership.
No. Partnership with a hosting provider company. So like they're actually bringing more leads
Okay.
to. So
Oh, you started
we're
a
a development
partnership. Got it.
agency.
Okay.
So they're not like the competitors, but we kind of went back to because we used to work together.
Yeah.
So that actually bring in some outbounds. Okay. So now we're getting that, but. So I'll probably have like another conversation with
Yeah, like you like go back to like have the conversation, and then I promise you, if you really, really have it, and the thing is, don't pull the punches. If you're gonna have the conversation, be like, this is what I want. You're not doing that, and that's my fault too because I probably haven't been clear about it. But let me be clear now.
Yeah.
Like, and if you don't want to do that, fine. Let's figure out a way that we can just work on separate things because I want to keep growing. Cool. I think you do that, the sales problem will solve itself. Alexander. Dude, very interesting business. So tell me about it. What's the problem? Why aren't we growing?
So it's a e-com business, so we sell clothing, and the clothing is inspired by like Japanese themed anime. So I just started when I created the business, I had a big vision for it. Like I wanted to be something more than just a clothing brand. So what I realized is like a lot of people who shop with us would have similar interests. So I wanted to create a community around that. So I started, creating a Discord community, and now we have over 14,000 members. And those people, they're fans of the brand, and they all share similar interests. And they're actually one of our top converting customers. Like we were to launch more products.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And so
You built a community and about stuff that they're all interested in and sold them stuff related to that.
yeah, exactly. And so what I also wanted to do is I wanted to create, because they're all anime fans or Japanese culture, I wanted to create something original as well. So, for example, we created a mascot, and we started putting it on packaging, like in their orders, and they started learning more. It's like, who is this character? Yeah. And my goal was sort of like, I want to like expand her and create a whole universe around her, and then eventually create like our own anime as well.
Okay. What's the problem?
The problem is I'm trying to figure out what I should put my resources to, whether I should focus on scaling the clothing and maximizing that, because that's what's bringing in the revenue, or focusing on this sort of like universe building and creating our own characters to later on, create value in other ways, which will tie into that clothing. And maybe later on, I was thinking like create an NFT project around like the audience, because they all have like similar interests, right?
Yeah, understood.
So I just don't know like which one to focus on.
So one is like you have the economic engine in the business, which is you sell clothing with a logo on it. I'm breaking things down to like absolute basics, right? So you need to keep doing that to be able to pay for the bills, to do all the rest of the stuff. Now, everything that you describe with the universe, as far as I'm concerned, in the micro is going to be basically media. It's content basically around this character that allows you to charge a premium and attract more people to the brand, right? And so I don't think you need to do either or. You need to think about that as marketing spend, and then you need to make sure that you cap it based on return on investment, provided your goal is to make money.
Yeah.
I mean that super genuinely. Now, the alternative of this is like I want to go build Disney and have a zillion characters, but like it requires a ton of capital in order to do that. And so, in my opinion, what you have been doing has been working really well. And so I would if you want to like reinvest capital, take the profit from there and reinvest more in that into building out more cool media for the character that you want to build and the lifestyle that you want to represent for your audience.
Yeah, because I know that like down the line, this is going to be like, what's going to create like generational wealth. Like I know that's what I want to do. Yeah, this original IP. Yeah. But right now, like there's no return on investment for it. Like I can't see it, right? Just like I'm putting time and money into it,
but it's gonna pay off. Like,
Well, that's kind of like a lot of times branding works that way. Like if I make content for 3 years and ask for nothing from people, yeah, my brand is gonna be worth something, and it is already, and I'm like still really early into it. So, but I was able to do that because I had money. I could not have done that if I could have done it. I would just have to work a lot harder. I could not have done other things, etc. So you have an economic engine, which will fund this thing. The thing is that like, you will get a return because if this works the way you want it to work, it should grow. So if you just pour money into it and more people don't find out about your stuff, which doesn't then create more people buying, then it's not working. So I think I love the vibe because I looked at your stuff, like it's cool. So like I think more of that is a good thing. And I think that'll just create more people who are raving fans in your audience. But the thing that like the good thing is that you're a missionary, not a mercenary. Like you want to make this thing real and it's awesome. It's cool. I want to make sure that it actually happens in the real world and not just in your head. And so like there has to be money attached to it somewhere, or you need somebody who really believes in it a ton and will take their money and just risk it for you. It's either that. Either you're going to risk your own money or someone else is going to risk it. But it's going to cost money and time to build this. And so the nice thing is what you want to do is have a symbiotic relation between the character and the media that you're building and the way that you monetize. And this is ultimately what you're going to want to do anyways. Because if the audience that you build that loves this character and stuff doesn't want to ever buy stuff from you, then you're not building the right behaviors anyways. For it to achieve scale, Mickey Mouse has to sell shirts, hats, t-shirts, movies, right? So I would also study the hell out of Walt Disney.
yeah, I looked into it.
Okay, yeah, I would read everything that's ever been written on him. And look at like new age stuff. Look at what Gary's doing with VFriends. He has a whole universe around the different characters. Same concept, but there's commerce there. He's got cards, he's got shirts, he's got merch, he's got all these other things to build up the characters.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of like research into NFT projects because like they're able to provide value through storytelling and like making value, creating value out of nothing, pretty much. And
I would just never say those words again.
Sorry.
I would just never say those words again.
Value.
No, value out of nothing. No, yeah. Especially tied to NFTs. But yeah, does that make sense? Yeah. That's what I focus. So to answer your question, yes, I would invest the cash that I have, as much as you believe, because it's a bet. It's as much as you believe in this. But I would make sure that people are still being more attracted to your brand and buy more stuff. Yeah, you bet.
How's it going?
Rockin'. What's up, Jordan?
I don't even know where to start.
We'll just ask one question. I'll try and answer that one.
When you were in the process of pivoting with the model for gym launch and you were trying to just like get money together to even make it to the next thing,
yeah.
That's exactly where I'm at.
Sweet. Fun.
Like I have reread and watched and researched like everything you've ever done regarding that, because it's just I feel it balls to bones. Because I mean,
What do you need to do right now?
I need to have people so that it is not solely me.
What does our do, by the way? What do you sell?
It's a paid advertising agency for cannabis.
For cannabis? Yes. Okay, got it. Okay. Tough.
Yeah. But that, on the flip side of it being tough, that's why there's so much leverage with that. Cool.
Okay.
There's a ton.
So what's the issue? What's the problem?
Meat.
Well, yeah, sure. It's always you. But like, what's the business problem? Like, is it not because you're like, I need to make all this money, but like, are you not profitable? Are you
It
like,
is profitable. However, it's just not went on long enough for the profit to just exist in a lump sum enough to be able to like pay for people. Because
I actually don't know what that means.
I've been actively doing this for like 4 months. Okay. So it's like I've brought money in, but I've never had payroll, never done any of that. I've never hired anybody. It's all those soft skills and just have it and working through the anxiety of getting through that first hire.
What's revenue right now?
Revenue's $600K.
Okay, got it.
However,
okay.
that is the literal metric, but I collect ad spend for them. So actual profit would be like 100K a year.
Okay. Yeah. So you got to sit in this room and have some different conversations. I'm going to be super direct with you. You don't need to worry about anything you just said. Yeah. Like, you have 90K a year that you have to work with. You have no room to hire people. You either need to fix your model, because I'm guessing you're working all the hours of the day to make the 90K.
Yeah.
Right. Which means the model's broken. So you can't hire more people because you, the most valuable employee in the business, like the founder is always going to be the most valuable person in business, especially day one when there's no one else. So you need to get to a point where like you should be able to make way more than what you need so that you have room to hire other people who can help you. And so right now, you don't have a people problem, you have a model problem, which means the way that you're charging or billing the cannabis people, you're either offering too much for them. Well, it's really, you're offering too much for too little. Fundamentally, that's what it is. Because either you need to be working way less to be making the money you are and be like, shoot, I could take 10 times the customers, I just need more customers. Or you should be charging way, way more for where you're at and be like, okay, well, I'm making 10 times more than I am right now. And now I can go afford people. That's it. So either you need to work on how you do delivery to make it 10 times more efficient, or make it so that how much you make 10 times more per customer for what you're doing. It's by about a factor of 10. Like, I think if you came here and you're like, we're doing about 900,000 a year and it's just me, I'd be like, okay, cool, let's start hiring some people. That makes sense.
I get it. It's just I didn't know that the question was.
Oh, you're fine, dude. No. Dude, you're good. You're good. I'm trying to help you where you're at. You get what I'm saying, though? Forget about that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you should either 10x the price that you're charging for what you're currently doing, or make how you deliver what you're doing 10 times more efficient.
Understood.
That's it. Otherwise, the model is not going to work. So trying to scale what you're currently doing is a bad idea. You need to fix what you're currently doing so that you can scale it.
Okay.
Cool.
First question, have you ever heard of a guy named Kyle Mouth or Comment? He does a lot of buy businesses, stuff like that. Okay, I just place you heard of. Anyways, just a quick background. So I own 4 auto body shops, and then I pivoted into garage door. There's a hailstorm which I love, and he hates. So.
Yeah, got it.
And,
right.
I pivoted to garage doors because it's just the industry is highly fragmented right now. There's only maybe 2 big players. The area I'm in there's not that many. Cool. And so we started professionalizing the company. I've been installing SOPs, checklists, alarms process. Yeah, training. Definitely give it training. It's really good. But my one issue is we have a weird niche at the moment, which we're trying to diversify heavily away from, where we kind of have a single channel risk. We pretty much give most of our leads to home warranty companies. Now, there are 8 of them, so it's not like one, trail, but I don't like. Yeah, I used to work at Geico, and we would get a body shop, and we'd become 30%, 40, 50, 60, 70%, and we own them. I don't want that. I want, just like on body shop, organic customers coming in, paid leads, all these things. And so where I'm at is I'm at this pivot point where I'm just about to start marketing.
You're doing 7 million? What was it?
7 million.
Okay, got it.
1.5 million of cash flow, and but it does have 4 million of debt because I purchased the garage store. Got it. Anyways, the cool thing is it's doing no marketing right now at all. Like, we have 1 lead every month from marketing. So we're about to start this whole SEO, PPC, maybe Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. So my one question is, I got to organize how it's going to happen. How should I organize it? Should I get a marketing manager? Where should I get them from? Should I hire them, just kind of supervise, build it out, but teach me so if I can know, because it'll integrate with other parts of the business, Yeah. And it's just, how would you organize it if you're at my state? I basically get to build it from the ground up, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, because it's kind of the issue that Antoine had with, like, when it's a core function of the business. Like, I see rainmaking as a big part of the business. Like, you have customer acquisition, you got delivery as the 2, and then you got ops as the 3rd leg of the stool. Like, every business needs all 3. Someone to get customers, someone to deliver customers, and someone to make sure that no one goes to jail. Right? And like, make sure all 3 have to like keep going around, right? And by that one, I mean, talk to people, HR, finance, legal, all that stuff, right? Okay, so it's a core function of like generating leads. Now, I like the fact that you have the 8 different places that you're getting the warranty leads from, so that's kind of sweet. I would just continue to do that as much as I could, go from 8 to 20 or whatever. I don't even know how many. You probably know the
Pretty
number.
much saturated. And
Yeah, right. You probably got them all.
There's
right.
one of them who said like, "Oh, you're our biggest vendor along with Home Depot." I'm like, "Damn, I'm a whale to them."
Yeah, right. I would probably, if I'm trying to think about where I would start. Me personally, PPC will be harder to crack initially, but then once you have it, it's very stable. And so for local, PPC, I think will work really well. It's a totally different monster, but then social media ads like Meta specifically, I think will work really, really well. The thing with Meta ads for local is I'd want to have someone in-house for that. The PPC guys, there's a bunch of really good agencies for PPC that can do pretty good work for you on the local level, who can just probably handle it pretty well. But the social media side, I have yet to see people who don't do huge companies do a good job, and that's just because you have to have so much creative. Like creative gets tired in local market in like 2 to 3 weeks. So you have to make creative every 21 days, and a decent amount of it. I mean, this is why we had Gym Launch. Like we took all the creative burden over, but we did it for 1,000 locations. Sure. So you'd have to build that in-house. So in terms of like ease and speed, I would probably go vendor first for the PPC. This is me just saying, what would I do?
Yeah.
I would probably go vendor first for PPC, and then I'd try and bring someone in-house who probably a younger guy who understands paid ads at a local level. And the nice thing is that there's a gazillion of them, guys who understand local ads on social media, and give him some sort of exciting like little mini comp that he can earn into. And because if he's relatively tech savvy and knows how to do social media ads and whatnot, he could become a weapon for the business. And that could probably really help you on the acquisition side, because you'll just like scoop them up, put whatever, 100 grand, 200 grand in, whatever you buy them for, lever the rest, and then you could like immediately triple the business and roll it in.
Yeah, just I'm kind of excited about the SEO portion, because I know that's who we're doing a rebrand too. So we're gonna have the trucks wrapped a certain way by company and all that.
Love that.
The SEO, would you do that same kind of go through an agency out of that or in-house? Seems like agency, but
Yeah, I mean, PPC is really simple. And so I think, and they're usually pretty well priced, especially for local. And when you get a good guy, it's like they just run the same playbook. They go for the same links, they build the same way, and they just kind of like, it works. For SEO is more complicated. And it is very much like the skill of I feel like there's more skill, in my opinion, for SEO than there is for PPC. But the nice thing is that local is easy to win compared to like national. And so since you're just trying to win local markets, again, whenever I do anything in a new thing, I start with vendors. Have you gone through the agency chapter in the Leads book?
I have it bought, or like just showed up on the like
Dude, just
Wednesday.
literally read that chapter. Okay. Just read that chapter. Yeah, it just gives you my playbook for how I crack every new channel. That's really what I do. I buy the agency, and then I tell them I'm going to take over in 6 months. You help me train the person, and then eventually I won't need you.
Yeah, that's exactly why I bought the book, and I came because I was like, when I think of I think of marketing and sales and conversions and.
Have you read Offers yet?
Not yet, but
Missing out, man.
I'm gonna read these.
Yeah. You could literally both in like one's 3 hours, the other's like 4.5. So you should be good. All right, Adam, TNT.
So paid ads agency.
Google or Meta?
Both.
Okay, totally different monsters.
Yeah, but I have like 12 years of experience working at Google, and I saw how important that was too. So I just learned that to figure it out.
Yeah.
My biggest issues are SQLs that fit within my zone of genius.
Okay.
And then
Who do you sell to?
primarily companies spending over 100K, and that's
Per month or per year?
per month.
Okay, per month. Got it. Okay.
And then on top of that, like what you just talked about and what other people talk about is wanting to replace agencies and hire in-house.
Okay.
Which Kurt sells you short.
Unless you plan for it.
So what's my plan?
No, I said unless you plan for it.
Yeah.
And just bake it into how you do things.
So those are my two problems.
Okay, so them trying to bring it in-house, I would bring it up front, and have you read that chapter in the book? Okay. Good. So, so I would say like, cool. So what I'm going to do is this is the first part. And then whenever you want to start bringing this in-house, we'll switch from this to consulting and we'll manage the transition period and we'll stay on a consulting basis until your team is outperforming what we were doing. Now, if the team never outperforms what you do, then you stay on a consulting basis forever, but it's still the nature of the relationship's fun because like being a service provider versus being a consultant, totally different vibe, which I'm sure you've done before. And so it actually goes from like subservient to you being a teacher, which is actually kind of fun. And so that'll extend LTV, it aligns your interests, blah, blah, blah. So that's good. What was the other problem?
So for how do you price the consultant compared to the done for you?
What's your current done for you pricing?
Typically 10% immediate.
Right. It's a good question. I mean, honestly, I'd probably end up just saying like, I'll either add in the consulting. You know what I mean? I'll either add it in to what we're currently doing because they're going to need the service from you while they're getting the consulting. Mm-hmm. And then basically, so the question is, after the delivery period's over, what's the consulting fee for after the fact? Yeah, that one, I mean, I'd probably look at something like, I don't know, 30%, just as a starting point.
30%
of what you were doing. So probably like 3% of ad spend. Mm-hmm. And so then you can just be like, listen, the question is, can I get your guy to be, this much more efficient? If you think the argument's there, great. If not, no worries. So probably 20-30% is probably where I'd be.
Okay. And then the second part is SQLs for my Dun & Genius, which is over the 100K. Mm-hmm. I just see any account I take over that's over 100K, I crush it in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Under 10K, a lot harder. So I want more SQL that way. Mm-hmm. Right now, my entire pipeline is through affiliates.
Okay.
And just referral partners and customers.
Yeah, you just need to go get what you want. So it's got to be outbound. So you either got to go outbound in terms of like high value targets. So like cold call, cold DM, whatever. 1, 2, you can make content very niche in terms of what you're talking about. That'll still get everyone, but you'll also get the good people. Or you just use your own expertise of running ads and target those people. Mm-hmm. So if I had to do these in order, I would probably start with ads because that's your bread and butter. And I would actually just start a campaign that's specifically for those people and calls them out in every single way you can. Like targets that way, but then the messaging has to be just super harsh. Like if you're not spending $100,000 a month, please just scroll past this ad. Like don't mess my pixel up.
And probably LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think LinkedIn has a lot of really good quality people. Yeah. Mohammed?
Yes.
All right.
Well, thanks for this opportunity.
You bet.
A little bit of background about me. I'm a dentist. I've owned my practice for 15 years, and I focus on dental implants. And the primary patient inflow method has been Google Ads for the past 8 years. I'd say about half of my patients come from internal referrals from friends and family, and then the other half come from Google Ads. That company that I've been with for 8 years has had the same landing page for 8 years and has not gotten any feedback from us about lead quality or anything. And past year, I would say...
Don't you wish you had him as a customer? You're like, I love this, right?
That's easy. Lead quality's gone down, it's just all down to shit. So last year I decided, this is a really important part of my business. I want to just take ownership of this. So I partnered up with these people who I was introduced to, say, hey, you crack the Google Ads algorithm. I'm going to work on the coaching and lead nurturing and value building aspect of it. And that didn't work out. This company didn't know what they were doing. So it all went to shit. So anyways, now I'm working with another company trying to build the funnel, the landing page and whatnot. Have not made any content, but I have all the setup to start doing that. So I wanted to build content specifically for the funnel. So when people click on the ad, they have a video of me, social proof, all that kind of stuff. But I also want to build or create content just for general like social presence and also value building. So should I focus primarily on the Google ads first and lean on that and then start working on the general content?
Yeah.
Second question I have for you is, I've been doing what you had said that everyone does, which is survey the market for what the price is, charge a little bit less, and offer a ton more value. So the ton more value that I'm offering is a lot of additional procedures that go along with the service that I'm providing that help create predictability and long-term. And I want to lean in on that as a differentiating factor because a lot of the competition is newer chains, newer doctors. They don't have the track history. And I have a lot of patients that I've treated 10, 12, 15 years ago that I want to sort of highlight. And so in that regard, should I continue charging or advertising the price that I am advertising and just highlight the more value that I'm getting to get more revenue coming in first and then try to raise my price? Or, love feedback on how to position myself in this new funnel, this new
My
venture.
favorite way of doing it would be just raise your price.
Okay.
I mean, I've told my father this for the entirety of my life, and he has still never listened to me. So, maybe it'll work for you. He's like, I booked out for 9 years. And I'm like, yeah, what if you just doubled your price? You could work the same amount you currently do every day and just make twice as much money. And so unless you have a demand issue or a conversion, like do you have a conversion issue right now? Like when you get people in, do they not buy?
So I don't really have a sales process, a sales system. It's all just me.
Well, you do have a sales process. You just haven't documented it. Yeah.
Right. But I just talk to them, let them know, hey, this is what your situation is. This is how I would handle
I'll
it.
bet you if I recorded you and I played 50 of those side by side, second by second, you'd be like, oh, this is the part where I make the same amount of jokes about this thing. And then I ask them why they're here. And then I say, what have you thought about before? Why now? Why is this to help you out? Okay, got it. Okay, has there been anything else? No. Want me to tell you about this thing? I think you might be a good fit. Here's what you can expect. Great. Do you have any questions for me? Blah, blah, blah. And so you probably do have a process. You just don't write it down.
Now, after reading your books and listening to everything, now we're working on creating a system and then educating the team on it so they can carry the baton. So that's where I am, and raising the price, I certainly can justify it just because, like I said, I have.
You could also do it even if you couldn't justify it. You can just raise it anyways. Because you felt like it, because it's Tuesday. Because who cares? You raise it because you want to. It's America, and you can charge whatever you want, and they can choose to say no, and you can choose to say this is all what I pay for, what I charge. And so just in terms of the idea of I have to do this because to do this, it's like you can just do it. Like we just bought a company a year ago, and I mean I tell the story because I like breaking the belief. And so we bought it, we did this massive analysis, and I was just like, I had the whole leadership team, and they're like, so what's how are we gonna grow the hell out of this company? I was like, I think I'm just gonna double the price. And they're like, but what else are we gonna do? I was like, I think that's it. I think that's all I'm gonna do. And they're like, but what about all these other things? I was like, I think we're just gonna do that. And so we did that, and the sales team was like, so would we need to retrain the sales team? I was like, no. I was like, you're gonna say the same thing, and then the very end, when you say the price, I was like, instead of saying this number, you say this number. That's it. And then we did that, and it took me 9 calls with the founder, 9, and he didn't agree, and so we settled on 50% increase. So we increased the price by 50%. And close rates went up because they were mispriced. And so we sold a higher percentage of people at 50% more money, and if you do more times more, it's way more because all that goes to the bottom line. And so that's the beautiful thing with price increases is that it's all profit. One of my favorite ways to make more profit, just charge more. So TLDR, yes, I think you should charge more. And in terms of the ad stuff, you're either going to have to learn this yourself, which feels unlikely, or you're going to have to keep doing this trial and error thing.
Well, I am learning it myself. I actually have started the courses and gotten into Google ads and Facebook ads. It's not something I'm going to do myself, but I can't delegate until I have full in-depth knowledge, which is kind of how I built the rest of the business.
I like it.
We have the lab side also on site, so it's vertically integrated. We just need to just crank that engine of
Once you get that going, the ultimate version of the business is that you start buying other practices. Right. Because then you can install your systems on top, your reputation, et cetera, and that's when this gets a lot more interesting.